Yeah.
Bastion of Remembrance. What do you think of this? I'm not too sure on it. Onto the backs.
It's sort of... it's Blood Artist. No, it's not Blood Artist because that was any creature. It's essentially a 3-mana version of the creature of the 1/1 that whenever one of your creatures dies, you drain them.
Yeah.
But where the creature can die and you still get the drain ability. I think if you're in the white-black humans deck, it's probably very good.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I sort of looked at it a few times and thought I don't really want this, but I'll try it and report back.
Yeah, I think like if you're in a like, I think you can be a go wide deck, and you're either white red or white black, and I think if you're white black go wide, the Bastion of Remembrance is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
But just in a general black deck, I don't think you want it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Blitzleech is next. I keep swaying on this card. I thought it was really good, and I thought it was pretty average, and I think it's pretty good again. Removing counters is sometimes like randomly super relevant, and if not, like a 6-mana 5/2 that kills a 2-drop is okay. It can block a monster when it comes in.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I was like you. I keep fluctuating back and forth, and it's like, are you any good? Like, there are a lot of X2s in the format, so it does generally kill something, and the 5 power means it trades for something as well. So it can easily be a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it's usually a 2-for-1, which is like sort of
kind of what you want for 6 mana.
Yeah, exactly. It's minimum of what you want for 6 mana. So yeah,
and like it can also just be like you can also just kill an attacking creature with it and have a 5/2 left over.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's good for. I found it good for, like, in the deck I played it in, I found it good for remove something they've left back as a chump blocker and make a massive thing that needs to block as well. I think that's good.
Blood Curdle, yeah.
Again,
great.
6 mana. It's a lot of mana.
Yeah. Blood Curdle, always play this, always play it highly. Good card.
It's Blood Curdle.
The menace is randomly very relevant. You like kill if they've got 2 blockers, you kill one of them and then win with your creature. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Boot Nipper, I like this. It's decent.
I like this because it's like it's the 2 mana 2/1 lifelinkers are always like sort of fine. And the fact that you can just be like, actually, I need a Death Toucher right now, not a lifelinker. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. Bushmeat Poacher.
I really like this guy.
Yeah, I've been enjoying this card, especially with the creatures that make an extra 1/1 human when they come into play. It's just card advantage, and a 4-mana 2/4 is a pretty good blocker to start with.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then there's like, we'll see in a few cards' time that there's like a 2-drop black creature that comes back from the graveyard as well.
I had it with the black-white 2/3 that removes exiles creatures from graveyard to make 1/1s, and it's like end of your turn, pay 5 mana, gain a life, draw a card. Like, it's just a really good effect.
Yeah.
Call of the Death Dweller.
I think this is probably poo.
I think so too. You pointed out something interesting that I hadn't really considered before this, but if your opponent's got Lurrus as their companion, this card's busted because they're always going to get a Lurrus back and it's going to have Menace and Death Touch and Lifelink. But yeah, no, I agree. This card's... I'm probably not playing this card. Like, it's often not going to have a target. It's very rarely going to return 2 creatures. And even when it does, one of them's going to be crap. Like, one of them will have Death Touch, fair enough, but the other one's probably still going to be crap anyway. So it's like a 1.5/1 at best.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Probably don't play this. Also, is that Lurrus in the picture? It looks like it might be. Looks like they're sort of hinting at what you should play it with. I think it is.
We should get back with it.
Yeah. Cavern Whisperer, this card is good.
Yeah. Like you said, it turns out Menace is actually a very relevant ability in...
Yeah. I'll tell you what is backbreaking. If you play turn 3 Thieving Otter and then turn 4 mutate this onto it, you print discard a card, you draw a card, and then you win the game. You've got a 4/4 Menace that draws a card when it makes makes contact. Like, you're not losing that game unless you kill it. Chittering Harvester.
I've not played with or against this, but yeah.
I'd say it's very good.
Yeah. It's just like...
I've played against it and I've lost to it multiple times.
Yeah. It being a 4/6, like... It's interesting. I was thinking about, like... I nearly did it the other day where I was like, I'd already put the blue heron on something, and then I put the Cavern Whisperer on. I'm like, which one do I put on top? I'm like, I'll put the heron on top because I'd rather have flying than menace. And I'm like, no, just put the 4/4 on top. They get all of the abilities.
Yeah.
So it's like when you make Chittering Harvester, I'm like, it doesn't have any abilities. And it's like, yeah, but it'll have the abilities of all the other stuff that's under it. So it actually just 4/6 is just massive.
Yeah, I think opponent sacrificing creature is a good effect in this set as well, because you often don't have any sort of dispendable creatures because you've already mutated onto them. So like you don't have any sort of crappy creatures because you probably already use them for your own purposes. So play this card. Always play this card basically. Corpse Churn, whatever.
Yeah, it's the raised dead of the set.
I had an opponent cast it turn 2 and Justice did not work out for me because they did hit a creature, but whatever you don't do, like don't randomly cast this turn 2 because you might whiff.
That seems like a stretch, but there you
go. Dark Bargain, not as good as I thought it would be actually. I normally like this kind of effect. I liked it when it was it War of the Spark? It was in the first time?
Yeah, it was in War of the...
Well, it was definitely... Dominaria.
It's been in a couple of sets recently.
A fairly recent set, yeah.
Yeah.
Tapping 4 mana to not do anything turns out is actually quite a big tempo swing in your opponent's favour. So I'm not sure I like this card. There's other ways of getting card advantage.
You need to have done a bunch. Like, obviously, it's quite powerful effects, but you need to have not be behind in any way.
Yeah, like it's fine if you're on the play and you've gone like 2-drop, 3-drop. But be careful playing this card. Like,
see, I thought I was going to play it, and then when I went through my deck again, I'm like, actually, this is just the card I'm going to cut because it doesn't. I'm not going to do anything that turn.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. Dead weight, play this.
It's dead weight, play it.
Careful, you don't have too many, but play it. Like, you don't want to end up with 5 of them because your opponent might just have a bunch of monsters, but you basically always pick this high and you always play it. Dirge Bat. Again, good.
It's a 4 mana 3/3 flash flyer, so that's great. And then whenever this creature mutates, this hero's downfall something. Yeah. So
I had a really weird game. I had the red planeswalker, which
must be nice.
Basically wins when you also. Turns out that card's really good. I read it. I was like, it doesn't seem that good, but it generates a lot of card advantage. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a bit. But I had that. I was about to go ultimate, and my opponent played the green Mythos with the kicker. So they searched for something. They put Dirge Bat in the graveyard. They brought it back. I was like, oh god, this game's going so badly for me. I thought I was going to win next turn with my ultimate, and I thought they couldn't kill it. And then they mutated onto one of their monsters and just killed a random creature. They obviously didn't realise it kills planeswalkers, but Dirge Bat kills planeswalkers, PSA. They could have just... Instead, they killed a random creature I untapped and won. Because my opponent obviously didn't read their cards. Yeah, but like they got they assembled all the pieces and then just like, your game. So there was just didn't read their own card. Yeah. Durable Coil Bug. This
super solid.
Yeah, this guy's pretty solid, more so than I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, it's just like it comes back, so it's great with the things that sacrifice creatures because there's like Bone Splinters is in the set. You've got the 2/4 that we just had.
Yeah,
it's great to mutate onto because you don't care if it dies because it can come back. 2/2 is actually a reasonable body in this format, like because because it's the Lair of the Behemoths. It's great for blocking non-trample big punters. Like, actually just ticks a bunch of boxes. It's actually a very solid card.
Is Coil Bug what Americans call woodlice? Because it looks like a woodlice.
Probably.
Duskfang Mentor. So here's the black one of the cycle. Gives something lifelink.
Builds all lifelinkers. Like, these are all just like fine.
Yeah,
it turns out just like adding +1/+1 counters to a creature repeatedly is just really powerful.
Yeah, they all run not all of them because the green ones are 3/3 for 3 already, so it's fine. But some of them run the risk of like if your opponent kills the creature you put the counter on, then you just got 3 mana 1/3, like whatever.
Yeah, like obviously you'd like to have more creatures that have the ability. which is why I was saying about the white one, where like in white green, there's like a green white hybrid guy that's got vigilance, and there's a few other green cards that have vigilance. So having multiple, being able, like as soon as you can put counters on multiple creatures in a turn with them, it's just like gets out of hand very easily.
Yeah, easy prey. Next, removal.
Easy prey is not actually as good as I thought it was.
No, yeah, it's like decent. It's not great because often you just don't have a target, but then you cycle it and that's fine.
Yeah.
Extinction Event. I've not played this, but I imagine it. No, I have been blown out by it, actually. I was going to say I imagine
this card is really good. Really good.
Yeah, you just get people. It's a bit like the white mythos. Like you play around it yourself, and then you just get people.
You really can. Gloom Pangolin.
Who cares? Don't play it.
Yeah, very average.
Is that one of your 14 unplayables in the set?
No, because like basically anything that's like cheap and has reasonable stats for mutating onto, are playable.
Right,
the fact that like it's got 5 toughness, like makes it vaguely playable.
Grim Dancer's next, and this card is really good, isn't it? Yeah, this card's just so good. I've had a deck with multiples, and it's just really good. Like most of the time, I was picking Lifelink and Menace, but Death Touch and Menace is like such a hard thing to block.
Yeah,
it's like you're basically always going to get your 2-for-1. Heartless Act.
Just play it. It's great.
Play it. It's either you're killing a monster or you're killing a monster. Either way, play it. It's great.
Yeah.
Hunted Nightmare. This is a rare. I've not seen this, but I'm liking the fact that it's a 3-mana 4/5 with Menace. What's the downside? Hunted Nightmare enters the battlefield. Target opponent puts a Death Touch counter on a creature they control. Interesting. So it's a callback to the Hunted cycle from Ravnica.
Yeah.
Hunted Dragon and all that.
So, obviously, the best case scenario is you go first and they don't play a 2-drop.
Yeah. And you've got a 3-mana 4/5 Menace.
Yeah. But it turns out, what happens is you play it, you put a Death Touch counter on something, and then you trade 2 creatures for it. So it's just a 2-for-1, because it turns out a 4/5 is really difficult to block with 2 creatures and not have them both die.
Or even better, you attack, they block 2 creatures, you kill the Death Toucher, and then you've got 2-for-1, and you've still got the 4/5 Menace in play. This card's busted. Just play it, basically. Pick it high, play it. It's really good.
Yep.
Insatiable Hemophage. This card not as good as it looks, I think.
No. Like, obviously, it's great if you get to go, like, mutate, but having played this format a bit, you don't get to do that very often.
Yeah, I think this is one of the mutators that way more often than not, you're just casting a 4-mana 3/3 Death Touch.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're probably going to mutate this a lot more rarely than you cast it. You might mutate something onto it, but it's unlikely you're going to mutate this onto something else because it doesn't really do anything. It just gives a creature Death Touch and drains for 1, like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Lurking Deadeye. This guy's pretty neat, isn't it?
I like this one. Big fan of this.
Yeah. It's like a 4-mana 4/2 flash can just be good if you're on the play and they like don't expect it. It's like, I've got a 4-power attacker that you didn't think I had. But it can also 2-for-1 people.
It's all about having flash, isn't it? Because it's like the there was the pirate one that was a 3-mana 3/3. I can't remember if it just had raid or just like killed something that had been dealt damage, and that was fine. But like the fact that you can now turn your chump blocks into killing creatures as well, because like the problem with it not when it didn't have flash was like you'd be like in with my pointless monsters and they'd be like happening. I'll just take 2, mate. You're all right.
They know exactly what's happening at that point, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a 3-mana 2/2 that did it in like ages ago in Ravnica or something as well. But it's quite a common effect. But I think this is, like you said, the first time we've seen it on Flash, and that just makes it a lot better.
So much better. This
is a pretty premium common, I think. Like it's a pretty high pick in the commons.
Yeah.
Memory Leak. Yeah, cycles for 1, so you play it, and like sometimes coercion is just a good thing to have. If you can afford to spend a turn doing nothing, it's useful to know what your opponent's packing.
Up to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to like not to take this card out of my deck.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those that we'll say again and again during this. Is like cycling one just means like there's.
Yeah, just assume that if it cycles one, you can play it. Basically.
Yeah.
I've actually played the card in a red-white cycling deck because I wanted an extra cycler. So like I was never going to cast it. It was just one mana, draw a card, and trigger all my cyclers.
Yeah, I was about to say something similar when we got to green because of the green card I did the same with. Yeah.
Mutual Destruction. It's a sorcery which really takes away from it. Sometimes it has flash with that weird first sentence. Yeah,
it's bone splinters.
Yeah, it is.
And then occasionally it's got flash.
It's sort of decent. I mean, it's a bit like Bone Splinters was. I think it's decent, not amazing.
Well,
isn't it?
It's great. Like at the point where people are mutating onto creatures, it's great because you 2 for 1, but like you sacrifice your crappiest thing, and you're 2 for 1 them, and that's like, all right, there we go.
Yeah.
Which is why we've said repeatedly, when you mutate, and you want to be getting that card worth of value, so that when you get 2 for 1, like when they kill it, you're not getting 2 for 1. And such and like.
Next card is Mythos of Nethroi. At worst, it's a murder for an easier to cast casting cost, so therefore this card is very good.
Just take it, it's great.
Pick it, kill some creatures, sometimes you'll kill a planeswalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, destroy target non-land. I was going to say, can it kill a land? It can't, but yeah, non-land permanent's pretty decent.
Yeah, if you're Abzan, you can just destroy you.
Yeah, I've used it to kill enchantment. My opponent played the 5 mana cycling enchantment, and I immediately killed it because I was very scared. Night Squad Commando is next. Yeah,
it's got raid.
Yeah, it has got raid. Not in name, but it has got raid. 3 power for 3 mana can be decent. Sometimes you want the go wide effect of a human, but this card is like super filler.
Well, it's one of those where like we've just literally 2 cards ago spoke about mutual destruction, and it's like, oh well, if you attack, they worry about the lurking dead eye, so they don't block, and then you're like, all right, Night Squad Commando, make an extra guy, bin it off to the mutual destruction. It was essentially
or just like jump your big monster. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Serrated Scorpion.
Another 1-drop that you don't really care about, so you can mutate onto it.
But also, probably don't play this, right?
No. Largely
I can't see one. I've played against it at least 3 or 4 times. Every time my opponent plays, I'm like, you realise that's doing nothing, right?
Yeah. Like, I'd have to have a lot of things that mutate for 2 or 3 to want to play things like that.
Yeah.
And they have to be really good as well. Like if we have 3 of the sea octopus thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Suffocating Fumes. Cycles 2, so not quite 1, so not that great, and the effect is a bit whatever. Probably not playing this in my deck.
It's an instant.
Oh yeah, it is. Interesting.
I thought that might change things.
No, I didn't know that, because these effects are basically always sorceries, aren't they?
Yeah. And that was very relevant because, like, I didn't realise it was an instant at all until my opponent cast it against me in combat, and I was like, "Oh,
hello."
Oh,
so I guess it can be good if, like, you attack with a 4/4 and they block it with 2/2/3s or something. And
well, that's precisely what happened to me. Was my opponent had a Cub Warden, and I'm like, "All right, well, I was like, you can probably remove one of my creatures, maybe 2, so I'll just put like a bunch of creatures in front of it to get rid of it." And it was like the worst possible thing for me, which is just like all of them get smaller, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, you've killed 2 1/1s, you've now killed 2 of them in combat, and I've not killed your Cub Warden.
A nice 4/1.
Like, that. Yeah. Get absolutely annihilated.
Unbreakable Bond is next. I can't really see myself playing this card.
This is one of my 14 cards that is basically unplayable.
It's just bad. It's a nice picture, but it's not a good card, I don't think.
Have you seen the film Okja? Looks like a scene from the film Okja.
Yeah. It's not. Is that a raccoon? What is that animal? It's not a pig or whatever. Okja.
It's not a super pig, but
yeah. Return target creature comes from your grave to battlefield. I read this a few times. I was like, is that it? But yeah, probably don't. I don't.
Yeah,
see myself
it turns out you read it a couple of times and you're like, is that it? And it's like, yeah, it is. That is it.
So this is the card I mentioned earlier that's a bit confusing because it puts a lifelink counter and it also puts a +1 strong counter on it, so it does keep the bonus pump. Yeah, this card is. It's decent.
Probably better than I give it credit for, but I still,
Lifelink can actually be a really relevant ability in a race. So yeah, I think this card's decent. There's not much more to say. It's decent. Unlike the Aid, we've seen this card before. It's a reprint. It was fine before. It's fine now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. +2/+4 is fine when you're getting indestructible as well. So it's just like boost my power. My critter's not dying.
Yeah. It no longer has Gideon riding on Nicol Bolas or whatever. No, it wasn't Nicol Bolas. What was he riding on? He was riding on Niv Mizzet, wasn't he? Yeah, he was riding on Niv Mizzet to kill Nicol Bolas. Void Beckoner is next, so this is part of the cycle. It cycles, it puts a death touch counter on something.
Yep, this is the enormous one of the behemoths.
It's probably not the best one of the cycle, I think. I
think the trample one's the best of the cycle, isn't it?
I think First Strike's a pretty good ability to give during combat. But either way, play this. It's fine. Yeah, it's never going to be terrible. It's a really good top deck when you got 8 mana in the late game. You're like, I've got an 8/8 death touch. Deal with it.
Yeah, death touch a bit excessive on an 8/8, but there you go.
Right, here's an interesting one. Give me your thoughts on this.
Oh, see, I wanted to ask you that. I think this is probably shit.
I think so too. A lot of my opponents played against it, and they brought 4 out, and I thought, you've still only got 4 1/1s. And your deck's like, you've thinned your deck out of any decent cards. Like, you've taken 4 spells out of your deck just to make 4 1/1s for 7 mana.
You really need to. Like I said, it's if you're the white black go wide, you really maybe if you've got the white sanctuary thing, and they're 2/2s, that makes them good. But you need. How many would you have to play it?
That's what I'm just trying to put together in my mind, because if you've got 10, then fine, you can make a bunch, but then most of your deck is Whisper Squad, and you'll end up with 4 in your opening hand. So the more you have in your deck, the better it becomes, but then the worse your deck becomes. So I don't think there's actually a limit that I'd actually play. I wouldn't play any number of these.
It's the fact that they're 1/1s. The fact they're 1/1s. Squadron Hawk
has flying,
had evasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you can't mutate onto them. Them being 1/1s is so relevant because the vampire one from Ixalan. I can't remember the name of it. But I played a deck with 7 of them. So it turns out a 2/2 with a relevant ability, being a vampire was slightly more relevant than being a human is in this.
And a 2/2 is a lot better than a 1/1.
And 2/2's just so much better than a 1/1.
Yeah. Because, it's worse than Squadron Hawk in the sense that with Squadron Hawk, you take them all out your deck straight away, so you stop drawing them. But with this, you can search one, and the next turn you just draw another one anyway. It's that must be really annoying to happen.
Yeah.
I think don't play this, basically. I can't see a situation where I'd play it.
Like I said, maybe if I've picked early the white sanctuary, and then maybe if I've got a second, if I've got 2 of them, I probably would play Whisper Squads.
Yeah.
I don't know, though.
Yeah.
It's probably just shit. It's on my list of 14 cards that I think are unplayable and I'll probably never play.
Okay.
Although, I probably will stream and then I'll be right, I'm going to do a Whisper Squad deck and I'm just going to take every Whisper Squad I see and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But, statistically, you're only going to end up with, even if you get all of them, I think it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, there are never going to be enough in the draft to justify it, but even then, like I said, you get to the point where you've got so many that your deck's just pap. Right. Yeah. Zagoth Mamba. This card's pretty scary to play against.
This is the one drop that's actually good to mutate onto.
Yeah.
It's the best one.
Yeah, because you get the immediate effect.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it's actually killing creatures as well.
Don't play this card if you don't have any mutators, but if you do have any mutators, just play it. It's always going to be fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Blazing Volley's next. Good if you've got that 3 mana 1/3 flyer that grows with it. Oh no, it's opponent's control. It's not even good with that.
No. This is
pap.
Essentially pap. Yeah, it's a sideboard. In best of 3, you might sideboard it in against the Whisper Squad deck.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
Blister Spit Gremlin. I quite like this card.
I don't know about like it. It's acceptable.
Yeah, like having a 1-mana 1/1 sometimes, because it's sort of it's in a spot in the curve that doesn't really fit. And in the really aggressive red-white decks where everything costs 1, 2, or 3 or cycles, like you can just randomly deal 10 damage with this card. Just by like your opponent comes up the board and you're like, well, you're on 7 life and I've got 3 non-creature spells in my hand, so you're dead in 3 turns. Like this card, I think this card's actually really decent. I quite like it. It's not great, but it's like I think like C+. I think better than people give it credit for.
Okay, yeah. Like as long as you don't go in, like when you said really decent, I was like,
no,
really? We might be getting a bit excited.
Considering it's a 1/1 for 1, it's good with that in mind.
Okay, yeah.
Blitz of the Thunderraptor. Cool name. Average card, I think.
Yeah, like it takes a bit of setting up. Like it, you can probably get it to do. Like you can probably get it to do a bunch, but like if it does 3, you're happy.
Yeah. And in like the blue-red spells decks, you can get it to do 3 quite easily.
Yeah.
Like I'll basically, assuming I have spells in my deck, I'll basically always play it. But I also have had situations where I can't cast it for like 5 turns.
Yeah.
Cathartic Reunion. Oh, is this the card you asked me to pay attention to? No.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that the same characters?
I think it is. It looks like the same characters.
I don't think the humans are the same. Maybe the dinosaurs are the same. So maybe the dinosaurs like previously.
The human's definitely the same.
Is it? Okay.
Like it's the human that makes me think it's the same characters.
What was the other card? Was it Capture Sphere?
Capture Sphere.
Right, I'm going to cycle back to it in my images. It might take me a while, but I'm desperate to have this happen. Keep talking while I just cycle through them. I'm nearly there.
Cathartic Reunion. It's fine. It's good with like ominous seas and things like that. It gets.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It gets a spell in the bin for things like Blitz of the Thunderraptor. It's a non-creature spell for Sprite Dragon and the 4-drop that I can never remember the name of. Obviously, it's great later in the game, as long as you remember to keep hold of some lands and don't just windmill them into play like a lot of the idiots I play against.
Yeah. I don't think this card's actually that good. I think you're describing it as being better than I think it is. Like, I haven't played it yet. It's been in my sideboard a lot, because sometimes you'll just draw it and you don't have 2 cards to discard.
Yeah, that's because you've been windmilling your lands into play like the idiots I play against.
No, sometimes, like, especially if you mulligan, you don't have enough cards to keep lands in hand. Like, you just can't. But it's okay. I've just gone back to
like sometimes if you mulligan, you draw a 6-drop. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I definitely would.
Like, I'm not saying you should definitely play it. I'm just saying like it's all right and like it's something you can play. I'm not saying you would. Like, I've not cast it, but
all right, okay.
It is. If you have nothing to do with extra mana in the late game,
yeah,
it is something you can choose to play and then just be like, all right, I never need more than 5 lands in play.
All right,
so
well,
people.
In the meantime, I did confirm it was the same as Catch Sphere. It's also, there's that other card that makes a dinosaur and a human at the same time. Is it also the same character as those?
It is.
Oh, nice.
There is another card.
Yeah.
That I'm going to say.
The next card is Clash of Titans, and this card is very, very good.
It can be. It can also sit in your hand and be really awkward.
No, really, I've never had it be bad.
I had it sit in my hand and do precisely nothing. Admittedly, it was a bizarre situation, but like, they had it started off, they just had 2. They had 3, like, I could have it be 5 mana, kill quite a small creature, as I get your big creature to eat your little creature.
Yeah.
But like, they just had a 4/7 and a 3/5 that they were putting counters on. And like, I ended up having to do that because I just had to kill the creature that was putting tokens onto their vigilance monsters. But
yeah, I feel like that's
5 mana killer 1/3.
I feel like that can't happen that often though. Like, even if your opponent has like a 6/6 and a 4/4 and you can only kill the 4/4, what you can do is just block the 6/6 with your own 2/2 and then they finish each other off. Like, it's still, I don't know, I think this card is very premium removal. I think it's always going to be pretty good. Like, the situation you described, I think is going to be very rare. I think you just got unlucky there, basically.
My only problem is, like, this is a reprint. Like, there's been... Well, I don't think the other one was called Clash of Titans, but there's been this... There's been this casting cost, this effect, and it's been poor for me repeatedly in the past as well.
Yeah, maybe it was called that. I can't remember, but it is a reprint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cloud Piercer, good card.
Yeah.
Not much more to say. Yeah, really good card.
Yeah.
Has
is great.
Reach is a really relevant ability with so few flyers, especially.
Yeah, and it turns out 5/4 blocks all of them apart from the red rare.
Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, no, it's 5 mana, 5/4 reach is fine, but when you like mutate it onto something small and get rid of an extra land, like, it's just a really good card. It feels like an uncommon as well. I don't know why, but I always cast it and I was like, oh, it's only a common. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that as well. To be fair,
Dranith Stinger. So this is the sort of red version of the white card we said was a bit pap earlier. This one I think you actually will cast a lot more often than you cycle.
Yeah, because like you said, you want to be aggressive. This deals damage when you cycle.
Yeah.
But again, cycles for 1, so that's great.
It's kind of like a better version of the Blister Spit Goblin, whatever it's called, because you're dealing the damage for free. This Phoenix, I've not played it or had it cast against me, but I assume it's good.
It's great. I had it.
It's a red Phoenix.
Great. Yeah.
4 mana, 4/4 flying. I like that. Good start. When it mutates, create a red artifact creature named Feather with sacrifice and return target. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like Oh, that's interesting. So it's like I forgot the name, but the 4/3 Phoenix was in standard recently. Something. What was it called? Do you know the one I mean?
Yeah. Oh
no, not Ashcloud Phoenix. That's a more recent one. But anyways, it's like that where it makes an egg or whatever, but only when it mutates.
Yeah.
But yeah, this card's really good.
It is really good.
Yeah. Ferocious Tigerilla is next. Turns out a 4 mana 4/3 either menace or trample just deals damage. Like it deals some beatings, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This card's like it's.
It turns out now that it used to be that a 3/3 for 4 in red was just like a hill giant, and that's average. And it turns out now that the average is a 4/3 with
your choice of an ability
or trample. Yeah,
it's really good. Fire Prophecy. This is like one of the best red removal spells ever printed in a limited set, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or as Rob called it recently, Lootening Bolt, which I quite liked.
Lootening Bolt was good.
Yeah. I don't like the image though. I don't like the sort of fiery eye. I've got a weird thing about eyes. But yeah, no, this is just it's just really.
But as you can see, only deals damage to a creature, so you can shoot your 1/3.
Yeah.
For a cheeky pump spell.
Flame Spill. This was in one of those like test cards that they printed in the unset, isn't it?
Yeah, Trample Burn Spell.
Yeah, Trample Burn Spell. They obviously decided it was good enough to print, and again, pick it. It's a really good removal spell. Not much more to say about it. Like, we don't need to explain that this is a good card.
Yeah. Just 3 mana instant deal 4 would be fine.
Yeah, and the fact that you sometimes like snag an extra 2 or 3 damage will just win the game sometimes. Footfall Crater.
Basically unplayable.
Yeah, cycle to 1.
It cycles for 1.
Stops there.
If you need a cycling... Yeah, basically it's Footfall Crater, red, instant...
Draw a card.
1, discard, draw a card, yeah. 1 colourless.
It's like a...
It's like not even red, it's just...
No, it's just a colourless instant draw a card, yeah.
Yeah.
Forbidden Friendship, here it is. Here's the
start. Here's the start of the story.
Okay, so they make Forbidden Friendship, then the dinosaur gets captured, and then they have a cathartic reunion. Very nice.
Yeah. This is great.
It's weird that the dinosaur has haste and the human doesn't. I always think that's weird when my opponent randomly attacks with their 1/1.
Yeah. But this is obviously good for the 1 human, 1 non-human things. I think there's a couple, but...
Yeah. The be at 1 is the key one.
Is the main one, yeah.
Divination. Frenzied Rapture's next. Whatever. Sometimes it does a lot of damage, especially if you like stick a menace counter on it like my opponents sometimes do.
Yeah. It can be mutated onto. It's got 4 power, which is relevant for a thing, I think.
A thing?
Yeah. No, it is. There's There's a land. There's a non-basic land where you can draw a card if you control a creature with 4 power.
Okay. Frill Scare Mentor is next. This is the Menace version of the cycle. 3 mana, 3/2 is a okay body. It has an ability. Menace is actually, I think this is probably the second or third best one.
The fact that you actually get a body, like, you would occasionally play a 3/2 for 3.
Yeah. But yeah, this is really good. This is also, you're saying earlier you'd get caught out 7 times in pre-release if you mutate onto human. All of the cycle is non-human, weirdly, so it targets a non-human, so that's always, keep that in mind. You can't randomly give a human flying. But also, you might not, if you're playing online, you won't find out until after you've cast it and the ability fizzled, so be careful you don't cast it.
Watch out for that.
Go for blood. Sometimes it's removal spell, sometimes it replaces itself. Either way, decent card.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought this was uncommon. I have no idea why I thought this was uncommon.
Yeah, it's another ability that feels like it could be uncommon. It's sorcery, keep in mind. It's one of those cards that could be an instant, but isn't.
Yeah.
Heightened reflexes. You mentioned this on any, didn't you? I think it's a decent combat trick, actually.
Yeah, it's fine. +1/+1 first strike for 1 has been a combat trick that, it's one of those where, you're not over the moon to play it, but, it will win you a combat at some point.
Yeah. And
the fact that you keep first strike is obviously better than not keeping the first strike, but...
Bear with me, I'm just going to top up my drink.
No worries.
Stowford Press. Other ciders are available. What are you on, the beers?
Peroni. Bit of advertising. So, see if we can get some sponsorship from them.
# paid content.
Yeah. #ads, blah, blah, blah.
Lava Serpent Cycles. 6 mana, 5/5 haste sometimes does randomly win the game, though.
Yeah. It turns out I'm pretty sure I should have just cast this, but I was saving it to cycle because I was a cycling deck. And I should have just played it as a 5/5 and just been it's a 5/5, what are you doing?
Because in the cycling decks, you do sometimes just end up with a bunch of lands because obviously you're cycling all your spells away. And in those cases, a 5/5 haste is just going to smash.
Yeah.
Luca, Kiko Outcast is the next one.
It's a Planeswalker.
Yeah, I first read this and I was like, it doesn't seem that great. It doesn't protect itself. It doesn't do that much. But it turns out that +1 generates a lot of free creatures for you. Especially if you're having it in a deck with a bunch of small creatures. By the second, so you play it, activate it, untap, activate it again. You've got 6 cards that you can play from. That's a lot of cards.
And also, it's... Alright, so 7, each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. That's probably just going to win you the game, innit?
Yeah, so I had this in a draft and it won me 4 of the 7 games, this card alone. Because you basically go, play it +1, it's on 6, untap,
cast the things.
Yeah, play it +1, it's on 6, chump with a couple of your creatures, they don't kill it. Untap, +1, you've got 6 cards to choose from, just play a bunch of monsters. Chump with the ones that attack with, and then next turn you ultimate and deal them 12 damage, and you've won. It's just really good. You're just
What's the -2? What's the -2? Exile type creature you control, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with high converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library.
I never activated that, but maybe it's good.
So it's like a random birthing pod.
Yeah, birthing pod. Yeah.
I think I'd just rather.
Planeswalker, so just play it.
I think I'd rather just do the +1.
Yeah, it's just basically +1, draw 3 cards essentially.
Yeah.
Momentum Rumbler. Yeah,
this is
fine,
I guess. It's a 3/3 for 4. When it attacks, it gets first strike.
It can be pretty scary if you let it get double strike, but then that means you let it attack twice. And it's a 4 mana 3/3, so you probably
you can just stick a 3/4 in front of it, and it don't matter that it's got double strike; it still dies.
Yeah, this card's fine.
It's fine.
I'd probably cut it if my deck was good, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep.
This card, however, Mythos of Vadrok.
5 damage as you choose. Don't worry about the rest of the text because
stop reading at that point. Play this card; it's busted.
If white blue was spent this to cast this spell, the only relevance that is if they have multiple creatures and you just go I'll deal 1 to each and they can't block.
No, like that is, I mean, that in itself is great. Like, if you can cast a white-blue, you're probably winning the game when you cast it.
Yeah.
But even if you can't, you're almost always going to get 2 for 1, or you're killing their biggest monster for 4 mana.
Yeah.
Like, it's good, basically.
It's just great. Take it, kill things.
Porcuparrot. This is one of the few cards, the few uncommons in a set that I have not seen yet.
I've not seen it either.
Maybe it's got a low print run. But this card it looks good. Having not played it, it looks good.
Does it? Like, it's going to tap to deal 1.
Yeah, but pings
more
are
often
just
than
good.
not.
Well, it taps to deal 1, which is like, that used to be a really good ability, but as soon as you mutate a second time, 2 damage is suddenly a lot of damage to be dealing every turn.
But there's a lot of removal in the set. Like, we are talking for limited, and you're not going to play this in constructed. There's a lot of removal in the set.
But then bear in mind, it's at base a 4 mana 3/4. Like, it doesn't get worse than a 4 mana 3/4, which is already pretty solid. I think this card's really good, and if you randomly stick it on the untap a jellyfish, like, it's going to win you the game most likely.
See, that I can get behind.
Yeah,
and it is damage to any target, I suppose. Yeah,
I saw. I think it was Rob posted in our podcast chat that he cycled the black cycle, put a death touch counter on it. And
that's nice.
Build your own Vizara.
I like that.
Tap, destroy target creature suddenly, and that is going to win you the game. But I think Porcuparrot's a pretty premium card. Like, I think it's a high pick. It's probably even a first pick. If the pack doesn't have a bomb.
And I will be trying to get it so that it taps to deal 5 to someone and stuff like that. But
it's also half parrot, half porcupine. Like, you can't really say no to that. Speaking of spiky beasts.
Why is this monkey not half porcupine, half monkey?
Yeah, that's true. So Porcuparrot is a bird beast, but this is just a monkey.
Yeah, this prickly marmoset.
Could be a monkey beast.
Turns out this is the creature you want in your red-white
it's so hard
cycling
to block.
deck.
I'll tell you that much. It's so hard to block.
They attack and you're like, well...
What do I do?
What do I want to sacrifice to this angry monkey?
Yeah. Because it's like, you don't want to put a big monster in front of it, obviously, because then they'll just
cycle 2 cards.
Yeah, but even if it's like a 4/4, they just need to cycle 1 and it's dead. But then you don't want to put a small monster in front, because then they don't have to cycle. They just eat your monster for free. Like, this card's so hard to block against.
But you also don't want to let it through, because they might just go cycle 4 cards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this card's really
the fact that this card's gone up so much because cycling 1 is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, they can just untap and potentially deal you 10.
Yeah, and it has first strike. It has first strike. It's so good.
Yeah.
This card is so good.
Like, this is perfect. Like, a 2/3 first striker for 3 is perfectly acceptable with 0 cycling cards.
Yeah. Or even a 3 mana 2/3 without first strike and that ability, but stick those 2 abilities together and it's so good.
Yeah.
Pyroceratops.
I found this interesting because in War of the Spark, there was the 2/2 Trampler for 3 that was the same.
Yeah.
And that was really playable. And it turns out making it cost 4 just makes it a lot less playable.
Yeah, I agree.
I think less playable.
Deck dependent, this can still be really good, but I agree that a 4 mana 2/3 is a lot worse than what it was previously.
Yeah.
I feel like this card is a functional reprint as well, though. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure we've seen this card before, just with a different name. Maybe I'm just thinking that War of Spark one, which was similar but not the same.
Yeah.
Raking Claws. Actually a pretty decent combat trick, like double strike. Sometimes randomly win you the game, other times it was 1-for-1. I think I quite like this card, actually.
It cycles. You like all the cards with cycling.
Yeah, it's true.
You're like a broken record.
Speaking of cards with cycling, this one doesn't cycle, Reptilian Reflection.
What do you think of this?
I had it, I almost played it, I didn't, because I'd rather just have spells that always do something.
I had it, played it, and was like, oh, this card doesn't have cycling.
Okay, because I've lost to it, but I also had a pretty bad draw.
Yeah.
It's got a really cool picture, actually. I've never really appreciated it, but I'm looking at it now. It's got, like, shards of whatever that spiky
shards of Tyrannosaur.
Yeah, with, like, Tyrannosaur reflections in them. Yeah, I don't know. I think I can't fully judge this card.
I think I need to play with this more. Like,
because
if it cost 2 and made a 4/4, it'd be really, really good.
Yeah, I think I'd rather always just have a Prickly Marmoset, basically, because like we're saying with Prickly Marmoset, you don't need to cycle for it to be good. Like, you just attack, and then they're already in a dilemma, whereas with this, like, you need to cycle first, and then they know exactly what you're attacking with. They know it's a 5/4, and they know exactly what to deal with.
Like, weirdly, if anything, this might be a defensive card.
Yeah.
Where you play it, and then the turn after, they have to worry about attacking.
Yeah, because then you only have to you cycle defense, like you cycle reactively rather than proactively. So they don't know whether you have it. Whereas, like I was saying, if you cycle when you're attacking, it's like, well, they know you've already played your card. Whereas, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll play this card, and this is one I had to report back on. I don't think it's good. I think I agree with you. I think it's quite poor.
Yeah. It's interesting now that I've thought that it might be actually a defensive card.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We're like, all right, I've got... Well, then, like...
But even then, just make a blocker.
Yeah.
Just make a blocker.
It's probably just poor, isn't it?
Yeah. Rooting Moloch. This card's pretty decent. Again, it's cycle, so it's never going to be terrible. Yeah, and sometimes you just get 2-for-1 from it. 5 mana 4/4 that basically returns a card from your graveyard. Like, it's good. Bear in mind, I think I said this earlier, but you can't cycle the card you get back with it, which is really weird because it feels like you should be able to.
I actually had a really fun game in one of my drafts where I was playing this in my Oberos deck, and in that deck, because I needed just odd cards, I played the green cycling card that exiles 3 enchantments. I had no way of casting it. It was literally just something to do on turn 2, or like on an even numbered turn. So I'd cycled it, but my opponent had Capture Sphere and Ominous Seas in play. So I cast Rooting Moloch, and he Essence scattered it because he didn't want me getting back the Exile 3 enchantments card.
Nice.
And I was literally just playing it as a 4/4. But he was obviously worried about me exiling his enchantments, so he countered it, which took the counter spell out of his hand for my Oberos a turn later.
Very nice. But yeah, basically, if you're in red, you basically always play this because it cycles. Sometimes it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Rumbling Rock Slide, very good removal.
Yeah, sorcery.
Yeah.
4+ damage to something.
It basically always kills what you want it to kill, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sanctuary Smasher. So this is one I said earlier. I quite like. I think it's one of the better ones in Cycle. Because like First Strike is randomly just a really good ability to give something, especially if you're being aggressive.
Yeah.
And like 6 mana 6/4 First Strike. It's so hard to block that. Like that's unless they have removal, that's probably going to just win the game if you do cast it. So I think this card's really good.
Yeah.
Shredded Cells is next. Yet another cycler that doesn't do a lot otherwise.
I don't know. Like this, I think this one's slightly better because like it kills all of the flyers.
Yeah.
Apart from the blue one, if you choose to give it a flying counter and not a hexproof counter, there's not really much in the way of artifacts. To be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it cycles. It's fine.
Spelly to Wolverine is next. Potentially very scary or very pap, depending on whether you have 3 or more instants or sorceries.
It turns out some decks really struggle to get 3 in the bin.
Yeah.
So
if you can, though, this card's just a 3-mana 3/2 double strike, which is a really good card. So it's hard to evaluate this without seeing the rest of your deck. So play it if you can make it good.
Yeah, like look at your deck, work out if it's likely to be a Hurloon Minotaur or a 3/2 double striker.
Yeah. Because like a 3-mana 3/2 double striker, that would be like a rare. Like that's how good that card is if it's just always a double strike. Tentative Connection is the next one. I don't like Threaten Effect, so I don't want to like this.
If you can get it to cost 1.
Even then,
it's pretty good though. I don't like one mana
threaten. The reason threatens aren't good is that sometimes they win more. Basically, sometimes they just do literal nothing. Which is why I don't like threaten effects. But yeah, if you've got menace creatures, you're very aggressive, then play this. Otherwise, put it in your sideboard. Unpredictable Cyclone. This is a card I mentioned earlier. I have played this. I won 2 games with it. Both games I was probably going to win anyway.
Like, is this a win more card? I don't know.
I think if your deck is all cyclers, it is really good. But the thing is, you don't actually get any card advantage from it. You just get tempo because you just cast the card rather than drawing it.
Yeah. If you got to, if it was like draw the card, then exile cards from the top and play it, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, sometimes you actually don't want this ability to happen, because you'd rather just have another cycle. You'd rather draw another cycle so you can trigger your creatures again.
Yeah.
So the fact that it forces you to exile rather than draw a card, I think it's not actually that good. I want it to be good because it looks like a really cool card, but I don't think it's actually that good.
I think if you've built your red-white cycling deck correctly, you don't want this. I don't know, like, do they still... I suppose they still count as you having cycled them.
Yeah, sorry, a fly's attacking me.
I suppose they still count as you having cycled them, but...
Then put the... hold on. Cycling bits are another non-land card will cause you to draw a card in... It said exile card on top of your library until you exile a card. You may cast that card. No, you're casting it, you're not cycling it.
No, but you've still cycled the card, because like it says there.
Oh, yeah, you cycled the original one. But say I'm attacking with Prickling Marmoset, they're on 8, and I want to cycle 3 times to kill them. I'd cycle once, and I would otherwise... Like, say I would be drawing another cycler so I could keep comboing. Instead, I'm just putting a random monster into play, which I don't want.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, I don't think it's great. Weaponize the monsters is next. Is this good?
Tentative connection.
Yeah, true. It's good with...
Might be good with your Whisper squad.
Yeah, it's good with Whisper squad. It's good with tokens, basically. It's good with a go white
It's good with
strategy.
tokens. It's good with the Coil Bug. And obviously it's good with the Threaten effect.
Even with Coil Bug, though, that's a lot of mana you're spending. That's 9 mana per 2 damage, which doesn't feel like a very good effect.
But, like, in a game that goes long...
Yeah. I don't know. I suppose it's any target, so it can just nug them if you want to.
Yeah.
Right, Yadaro, Wandering Monster. Cool card.
This card's cool.
Yeah, very cool card. I think it's better in Constructed where you put 4 in your deck and you're more likely to get it to happen, but otherwise a 7 mana 8/8 Trample Haste. When you cast it, you're probably winning that turn. If not, you just cycle it. So, like, this card is... You basically always play it, don't you? How high do you pick it?
Yeah. I would definitely first pick it.
Okay, interesting.
Would you not?
I don't know. I'd have to play it first to see, like... I haven't run the numbers in my head to see how likely it is I just get a random free 8/8. Because otherwise it is just 2 mana, draw a card for 2 mana... Like, 2 mana instant speed, draw a card, which isn't a great effect. I suppose 7 mana 8/8 Trample Haze does, like I said, randomly win the game. Yeah, maybe I'm first picking it. It's just that thing, I'm probably first picking it because it's cool rather than because it's powerful. Like, just a solid uncommon is probably just better.
7 mana for an 8/8 Trample Haste is pretty good anyway.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, when you get it early in the game, you're just like, well, I want to bin it off anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, Adventurous Impulse is next. Again, it's a reprint. It was fine the first time. It's fine this time.
Yeah. More often than not, you'll get a land. You'll either cast it in the first 3 turns, get a land, or you'll cast it turn 4 onwards and get a creature.
Yeah, it's the kind of card that if you don't need to cast it right now, don't, because you might want to play it later and get a good creature off it.
Yeah.
The Almighty Brushwag is okay. I mean, we've said it 20 times already, but it's good to mutate onto.
Yeah,
otherwise
it's got trample.
Crap. Yeah,
it's got an ability, but yeah.
It might get in for 1 a couple of times and then mutate.
It's got threat of activation, so, like, it's occasionally random free damage, and if you can play at instant speed a bit, it'll put people off attacking.
Yeah.
But
Auspicious Yarix. Starix, not Yarix. I've never cast this card or had it cast against me, but it looks really good.
I had it cast against me. I had it mutated against me. Like, but obviously this is just like...
It's just a bomb, right?
It put a land into play, and then I pacified it, and then attacked and killed him.
As well. Okay. But, like, at worst, it's a 5 mana 6/6. It's a 5 mana 6/6, even if you ignore the mutate. Like, that's a good card. And then... If you
mutate, you start getting things. Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, if you mutate on something that's already mutated once, suddenly you get 2 cards. Like, if they're both creatures, like, that's a lot of value. Surely this card's just a bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I wasn't saying it was a bomb. I'm just saying, like, I've only seen it once, and
it was bad. Okay.
Well, it wasn't bad. It was just like it hit a land, and then I dealt with it and moved on. But, like, it's obviously like if I'd not done that and he'd just gone untap, mutate onto it again,
Yeah.
Oh, look, I've got all of the things.
Barrier Breach is a card you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Most of the time you're not going to cast it, you're going to cycle it. Probably don't play it. You're probably not playing this, I think.
No. I literally played it in a black-red deck because it cost an odd number and cycled.
Bristling Boar. About as average as it was the first time it got printed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reprints in this set, aren't there?
It's perfectly fine. Seems like it, yeah.
Charge of the Forever Beast.
If you've got some big green monsters, it's playable.
Yeah, so this is actually... It's worse than the... I forgot the name, but we'll see it. The 2-mana instant that makes your creature deal damage.
Ram through.
Yeah, ram through. It's just like worse than that, basically, which is weird because it's a sorcery and uncommon. You expect it to be better, but it's basically just worse.
Well, you say that, but ram through, like, if they kill your creature, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I suppose so. This one's always going to deal the damage.
This actually just deals the damage.
But also, if you need a removal spell and you draw this off the top and the creature's in hand, you're going to regret playing it.
Yeah.
I can see myself not playing this in a green deck. I don't think it's even that good.
It's okay. Like I said, it's just one where, like, knowing that you're playing it, I don't know, like...
Now here's a card. Colossification.
Oh,
look at this.
I am going to win so many games by casting this on my opponent's creature.
Yeah. Tap, target, 7-mana tap, target creature attack for the win.
Yeah.
Or how about this? 7-mana tap, target creature, then tentative connection it. Attack you with your 22/22 menace creature. I can't. Is this card? I can't. Is this card good? I can't tell. I don't think it is, but then I will lose to it. I can guarantee I will lose to it.
Like, for 9 mana, you just win the game.
7 mana?
No, for 9 mana, because you put it on your Glimmer Bell and then untap your Glimmer Bell and hit them for 21.
Yeah. But if they've got removal, you don't. If it's a 2-for-1, it's a 9 mana 2-for-1 for your opponent. I don't know. I want this card to be good, but it's so different to what I've seen before. Like I was saying earlier, like you play an aura if it wins you the game or mitigates card advantage. This will win the game, just not very quickly.
See, like I said, I have a feeling I'll play it and I'll just be like, Colossification, your creature. And they're like, what? And I'm like, tap it in.
It's a giant cat and you're dead. Anyway, yeah, we'll see on that one. It's a cool card. I think we'll give it that much. I don't know if it's a good card.
Yeah.
Essence Symbiote. Yeah, this little fox is pretty solid, isn't it?
This one's quite good.
Whatever it is.
Because the black one, that creature has to mutate, whereas this, it's whenever any creature you control mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and you gain 2 life.
Yeah.
It's like all your mutates getting +1/+1 counters is good. Really good.
The 2 life can be relevant as well when you do it a couple of times. Like starting the game on 26 life is relevant.
Yeah.
Excavation Mole, yeah, it's pretty solid. 3/3/3 trample is pretty solid already. It's a non-human, which is relevant. So
yeah.
Exuberant Wolf Bear. I got this card 11th pick in a draft.
Yeah, people don't seem to like it.
It's a 4-mana 4/4 with an ability.
Yeah, and even if you took the ability off, we spoke about this the other day, didn't we? Where like people just seem to go, "Oh, there's a lot of text on that," and it's like,
it's probably bad.
Oh, I don't have any target humans.
Yeah, I don't have any human targets, so it's not very good. No, it's still a 4-mana 4/4.
It's a 4-mana 4/4, and it's going to attack a lot.
That's like the standard of what's good in limited. Like 4-mana 4/4, you play it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about the text. If you've got the text, that might be relevant. It might not. Don't worry about that. You've got a 4-mana 4/4.
Yeah. Fertilid is next. This card is particularly good in the set just because of mutate, isn't it? It's like
yes.
It's
because it turns out
the counter stack.
You just put the other card over the top, and then it gets +2/+2.
Yeah, and it can still search for those lands.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card's it's not amazing, but it's good. Like, you need a good reason not to play this in your green deck.
It's really good in the set. It works with what the set's up to.
Yeah.
Like, it's good for splashing. It's good for like one of the first things I did with it was play it on turn 3, just ship the turn on turn 4, block the creature, go and get 2 lands, untap and play a Greater Sandworm.
Yeah, nice.
And it's like, yeah. Like, it's a very solid common.
Yeah. Reprint as well. That's like the 20th reprint. Flycatcher Giraffid. This is a very non-solid common, I think.
See, this is one where like I'd have it in the sideboard and I'd be very happy to bring it in because it turns out, like as I said, 5 toughness reach blocks all of the the flyers.
I think this is basically always going to get cut first from my decks. Like it's pretty unimpressive. Fully grown. This is a card I was saying where it always feels weird when it shrinks back down because it's obviously not fully grown. Yeah. When you're fully grown, that implies you're staying that way, but this one shrinks back. It keeps trample, but it shrinks back down. Yeah. But it also can just deal a bunch of damage. This card's like pretty solid. It's not funny as well because it is like forcing damage through.
When you read the flavor text as well, it suggests that it should stay big.
Oh yeah. One day I woke up and you had nothing left to teach her. Now I ride on her shoulders and follow where she leads until the next upkeep. No, so until the next end step where I suddenly fall off because she's my size again.
Yeah.
Gem Razor's next. It's another rare mutator, so I'll assume it's busted.
It's a 4-mana 4/4, but this time with reach and trample.
Yeah. The ability is not as relevant in Limited, though, is it? Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Like, whatever. Yeah. This is probably one that you're just hard casting for 4/4. As a 4/4, like, you're probably not going to mutate this one as often.
No. Like, it can be relevant if they have, like, pacifisms or capture spheres, but more than likely not going to be relevant. Just make a 4/4 for 4.
Yeah, agree. Glowstone Recluse is next. This is yet another mutator.
Yeah.
Gets pretty big.
So you're saying that? There's only like,
do stack up.
I think there's only 11.
Oh, well, I mean, the last one was a mutator. So.
Yeah.
Reach is a good ability, and like pumping by 2 is actually pretty big.
Becoming a 4/5 reach is enormous.
Like 3 mana 2/3 reach is okay. It's not great. A lot of the flyers have more than 2 power, so
no, they don't.
The blue common flyer, which everyone seems to play, has more than 2 power. So 3 mana 2/3 reach isn't great. But once you start mutating like that's a big creature with reach. You're not getting anything past that.
Yeah, the Heron and the 6-drop have 3 power. And none of the Moth.
The Mythic that's winning
the Mythic
anyway.
Moth.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, basically, if it ever mutates, it can block everything.
Yeah. Greater Sandworm. Not much to say. It's a big monster that cycles. Cool.
It was a great finisher the first time it was printed. It's still a great finisher. You'll cycle it a bunch of times. Occasionally, we get to 7 mana and just be like, "This is enormous."
By blocking this, yeah.
Yeah.
Honey Mammoth, unlike Greater Sandworm, does not cycle and is therefore quite a lot worse.
Genji for life is big.
Yeah, this is going to get cut
I have
first.
played against this. I've never cast it. Other people have, but...
Yeah. I've played against it and I've won every game I played against it.
Me too.
It doesn't do much. It doesn't. If it trampled, fine, but it's just going to get chumped until the opponent loses. Hornbash Mentor is next, and this is, I think, the best one in the cycle. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Or at least like one of the best ones. There's like 2 or 3 good ones and then 2 or 3 average ones, and this is definitely one of the good ones.
Well, it's fun that this is a 3-mana 3/3.
Yeah. It's a solid body, yeah. It has an ability, but it's also a solid body without the ability. Whereas like the blue one, if they kill the creature you put it on, then you've only got 1/3 left. Whereas this one's still a 3/3.
Yeah.
Humble Naturalist is next. I quite like this card. Like mana creatures for 2 mana are always pretty good in Limited. You just get a bunch of tempo off it.
The fact that you can only cast creatures off it is a bit of a pain, but
yeah, I've not found it a massive disadvantage though. Just like making a 4-drop on turn 3 is
problem.
It's good. Like a 2-mana 1/3 is fine to start with. It's not great, but it's fine. Ivy Elemental's next.
This is the peak mutate creature.
I didn't actually appreciate. I have it in the sort of deck I have active at the moment in an arena draft, and I hadn't really appreciated how good it is with mutate until I put a Heron on it and attack for 10 in the air.
Yeah,
Like, this card is Yeah, they basically put it as like mutate onto this.
I didn't really think, like, I was the same, I didn't really think about it. My opponent just went, make a 4/4 Ivy Elemental. I'm like, oh, okay, I can sort of like deal with that. And then they were just like, you take this onto it, and I'm like, everything you
it's
get,
good.
that is +4/+4.
But I think because of that, this is actually a really premium card. Like, you want to be picking this high, and you want to be playing it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, very much so.
You also want to be playing Kogla the Titan Ape, if you can.
Good old King Kong.
King Kong. Actual King Kong with all the copyright infringements that you'd expect. Flavorfully, we spoke about this on the last podcast. Flavorfully, this card's amazing because it is just King Kong. Like, it's a massive ape. It comes in and fights something. It steals a human to protect itself. Like, it's so flavorful.
Yeah.
But it's also just, if you can cast it, it's going to win you the game, most likely. So
it's a 6-mana 7/6
that eats a monster when it comes in.
Yeah, it's really good.
I had it played against me. My opponent had, I forget the name, but the blue-green 2/2 that you can pay 7, look at the top 5 cards, put permanent into play from them, put a creature into play from them. And I was like, I'm probably winning this game. What can they find realistically? And they found a Kogler on the first activation. So yeah, I lost that game. GG, thanks for playing.
Get got.
Lead the Stampede. This is very good in Pauper in the Elf decks. That's about all I can say about it. Is it good?
I think on average you should draw 2 off it. But it's like a divination where the cards you draw are going to be spells. But a lot of the time when you cast divination, what you want a land, because it's turn 3. But it can also draw you 5. I remember in the past when I was playing Shards of Alara, somebody drew 5 against me. That was very powerful.
Yeah.
But I have also had people draw none, and that's very weak.
I don't think this card's very good. I think, to summarise that, it's worse than Divination, and considering the Divination in this set costs 1, it's significantly worse than Divination.
Yeah.
Migration Path is no. Oh, sorry, you still on that one?
I was just going to say, like, it's also like there's not really a way that you can set it up so that you can. It's not like you can scry or put cards back or anything like that. So you can set it up so you'll draw a bunch from it. So
Migration Path is next, and I quite like this card.
It's just a cycling explosive vegetation. Why would you
sometimes,
not like
sometimes explosive vegetation does actually just randomly get you where you want to be as well. Like, it finds you third colour and it ramps you up to 7 mana. Like, it's really good.
I'm
basically
and this cycles.
Yeah. Migratory Great Horden is also a really good one, I think.
I think this is one of my favourite common mutators.
Yeah. It's one of the best commons in the set, I think. It's just really strong.
Yeah. It's just like the fact that you can mutate for 3 and it's a 3/4.
Yeah.
It's just like makes your creature big, gets you a card straight away. Like, immediately it's on like it's only a.
It attacks for 3 on turn 3, which is really, like, that's just a big thing to be doing. If you get a 1 or 2 drop, especially if you've got like a flying 2 drop as well, you suddenly have got a 3 mana 3/4 flying that's finding me a land as well. So even if you kill it, like, it's card parity. This card's just really good.
Yeah. Big fan of this.
Yeah, pick this highly.
Yep.
Monstrous Step is next. This is one of those cards that you read it and you're like, that's amazing, and then you play it and you're like, oh, it's not doing anything.
Yeah. +7/+7 provoke. It's just not enough for 5 mana.
Yeah, unless you have trample, in which case it's pretty busted. But if you don't, it's a risky 5 mana removal spell at sorcery speed, which isn't great.
Yeah.
Mosscoat Goriak, very, very average.
Look at me, I'm a very average punter with stats, and I'm not a human.
Yeah. Mutate onto me if you can. Mythos of Brokos, pleasing to say. Lots of assonance in there with the O sounds. It's a sorcery that returns 2 permanents and you can tutor 1 up.
Like, if you've got 2 permanents in your bin, this is fine. Like, double regrowth is fine. Like, it's not spectacular. Like, if you get to search 1 up as well, like, I don't even know how much better that is. Like, it's probably a bit better, but
I think it's good. I'd always play it in my green decks, but it's not going to win the game by itself.
See, you say that, but like, does the fact that it costs 4, not 5, make a huge difference? Because 5 mana sorcery, return 2 cards from your graveyard has been printed a bunch and doesn't get played.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's not that good.
So the fact that it costs 1 less, but only targets permanents, is that actually that good?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Actually, when you put it that way, you're right. It's
because like you do know that like I'm not making it up that 5 mana regrow 2 cards has been printed as it. It's like restock. Is that right? Restock.
Yeah, I think you're right. 3 green. I can see the artwork in my head. Yeah, it's from like 9th edition or something. Last time it was printed. It's been a while.
No. Yeah, it was in Invasion. Yeah, 3 green sorcery. Return 2 target cards from your graveyard to your hand. It was in Invasion and M15, and you didn't play it. It was rare in Invasion. They made it uncommon in M15, and you didn't really play it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yet now suddenly you're like, oh, it's a rare, and it costs 4, and it's like, oh, it's really good. It's like, is it?
This is a slow set, though. I don't know if that makes a difference, but
like it will do. But it's just the fact that like people seem to be like, oh, this is really good, and it's like you used to be able to get like removal spells back with the other one.
It might just be because I saw it, thought that's a rare mythos. It must be busted, which I imagine other people are also doing.
Yeah, and it's like actually it's a hampered restock. Where like, I suppose maybe if you can cast the blue and the black as well, so you get to Demonic Tutor, the best permanent in your deck. But a lot of the time when you cast Demonic Tutor, you want to get the best spell in your deck, not the best permanent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right, well, Plummet is next, and I'm basically never main decking this card.
No, because I've told you how few flies there are in the set.
Yeah. Ram 3, this is the one let's talk about. I quite like this card. It's good.
It's just bully, isn't it? It's just punch. It's not fight. It's just I bully your creature.
Yeah, exactly. It's an instant speed as well, which is relevant.
Oh, I've not seen that. That's interesting, actually. The bit where it has trample. If the creature has trample, the damage has trample.
Yeah, tramples through. Hence the name, Ram 3. Yeah, no, it's a really solid card. I really like
that. That actually does make it a bit better.
Yeah, I had quite a cool one recently where my opponent had a 2/2 and a 3/3, and my companion was Lutri. So I had only a 2/2, so I like ram 3'd my 2/2 on their 2/2 with it on the stack, cast Luthri to ram through the Luthri on the 3/3. So like the Luthri became the 3 power that I needed to ram through the 3/3 or something like that.
Oh, nice
situation. But it it copied the ram through on itself, which like feels like it shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, we'll try to work out if that would work, but yeah, like the Luthri has to be in play for the copy to work. So yeah. That's cool.
Sudden Spinnerets is the next one. Spider-Man on scene.
Yeah, like
the reach count is not going to be relevant that often because there are so few flyers, but it's a nice to have. Otherwise,
+1/+3 untaps fine, and the fact that it costs a single mana.
Toughness is like more relevant than powering combat tricks, isn't it? It's like +1/+3 is better than +3/+1.
Yeah.
Card's fine, yeah. Survivor's Bond. It's a bad Mythos of Brokos, so as just discussed, we're probably not playing this.
Thing is like it's a Mythos of Brokos that costs half as much.
But it's also got a lot more restrictions. Like you're not going to most of the time you're only going to return 1 card.
Yeah. True.
For the enemy, here's an interesting one because we spoke about this in our podcast chat. I looked at this and thought that's amazing. It only affects your opponent's creatures, but then I don't think this is the right set for it. I played it and it was basically mulligan every time I had like every game I had it in my hand. I just couldn't cast it favorably.
Well, you can definitely cast it favorably because all it does is prevent combat damage. Like
but it's a fog. I like cast it once to get a 1/1, and the other 2 games it's just a fog, and I lost that game.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get it to do anything useful. But I don't know if that was just maybe that was like a small sample size and it is actually really good. Like, what do you think of this card?
At first I thought it was going to be great because I thought it was going to be like Safe Passage. But like Safe Passage also prevented just like any damage. And then, like you said, I've not had many, if any, combats where it's been like my 4 creatures running at your 4 creatures.
Yeah.
The only combat I've had where there was a bunch of creatures blocking other creatures was the one where I got blown out by -1/-1 to all my creatures. So thwart the enemy would have actually done less because it would have still only killed one of my creatures, or maybe two. It's like if you maybe is it a draft around fog where you try and generate a board state where it just doesn't seem like it's worth it.
I can't see that being correct. I think probably just don't play this card, which feels weird. It feels like it should be good.
Is it on my list of 14? I'm pretty sure it is. Where did I put my list? Where did I put it? Yes, it is. It's on my list of 14. Yeah.
Next one, we have Titanoth Rex. It's cycle, so you're probably playing it in your green deck.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You're probably not going to cast it, but if you do, you're going to win the game.
Yep, I did.
There you go. Well done. Vivian, Monsters Advocate. I don't know what this card does, but I assume it's good because it's a Planeswalker.
You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good effect.
Yeah, +1, create a 3/3 green beast token, put your choice of vigilance, reach, or trample on it.
This card, stop there. This card's already busted. I don't care what the other ability is.
-2, when you cast your next creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature card with lesser converted mana cost, put it onto the battlefield.
Yeah, this card's just busted. You're going to win the game, you play it.
So it's 5 mana, make a 3/3 vigilance, reach, or trample for a 4 toughness Planeswalker. And then untap, -2, make 2 creatures.
And also you can play them off the top of your deck. So the first creature you got was for free. It was off the top of your deck. So yeah, this card's ridiculously good.
It's just a lot of card advantage in it.
Yeah, play this card, basically. Wilt.
Isn't this a reprint? Didn't it have a different name, though? I feel like Disenchant Cycling 2 is...
I don't know, it feels like it feels like surely it would have been. It must have been printed before. It's the kind of card that they would print any cycling set. They just print this kind of effect, don't they?
Yeah. But yeah, it's fine. You probably don't main deck it, but if you want some cycle, maybe in the best of one you do.
Yeah.
Because, although saying that, interestingly, what I've been, because I started playing, in Theros Beyond Death, I started playing in my red decks Irreverent Revelers that destroy an artifact.
Try saying that 3 times.
Yeah, or a 2/2 haste. Because the artifacts people played were really good.
Yeah.
Because the artifacts people played were the Lyre or the Shadow Spear, and then there was something else that was really good that I can remember. And having a way to deal with them was really quite relevant in the best of one. But it's the type of thing where in best of 3, I wouldn't play it and then I just sideboard it in. So.
Yeah. I don't know. It's cycle, so I guess you might as well play it, but I can also see it being cut.
It's another thing where cycling's so good for best of one formats.
Yeah.